You know, guys, I'm beginning to wonder. Well, actually, I'm beginning to think that there's only 3 genres of video games left, and those are Souls-like, sim racing, and woke DEI trash. So, guys, today's video is basically another, like, kind of not necessarily a pushback against the whole anti-woke, angry, video coalition that goes on here on YouTube. The overabundance of negativity when it comes to gaming. This is more of a video like, look, guys, I get it. There's a lot of stuff that they're putting in our video games these days. There's a lot, and we're going to talk about that right now. So, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I am basically a little bit confused about the future of gaming, to be completely honest with you. So every time a new game gets announced, we go through the motions of this game is woke, this game is trash, people going out of their way to literally find any and every reason they can to bash these games for short-term personal gain. And that's really what it boils down to. Now, yes, there is a lot of stuff that's in these games. There is. I mean, there's LGBTQ stuff, there's transgender stuff, there is the whole race swapping, there's the basically every single thing that you can find that you can attribute to, like, oh, that's woke, that's DEI, whatever, like I get it. And I mean, it makes sense. We've seen them do this to a lot of our games. I mean, God of War, for freak's sakes, God of War Ragnarok, they pretty much demasculine freaking Kratos. They've got, Power Woman, they got the girl boss issues, everything, like there's so many freaking girl boss games now, it's not even funny. Like, it's insane. To be completely honest with you, I feel like every single game I've played in the last 2 years has literally had a female boss, like a girl boss. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, I see the anger and frustration amongst my fellow gamers and stuff. And, you can only be called woke so many times before you're just like, look, guys, let's be real. I'm not ready to give up gaming yet. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to. I am not ready to give up gaming yet. And you're right. And that's why I say there's only 3 freaking choices, 3 genres of games now. It really is Souls-like, sim racing, or everything else is woke DEI nonsense. And that's literally the way I feel. If you pull up YouTube, that's all I'm getting. I mean, obviously it goes off of like what you like to watch and stuff, but like, There's so much of it out there. There's so much of it out there. And myself included have put content out like that. But here's the thing, man. I've played almost every freaking woke game that they said were woke this year. I was just going to play them and not even cover them. But then that would be me just being dishonest, Like, look, I really do understand the argument about like the whole woke thing. I get it. But a lot of it, my friends, after the games that I've played this year, a lot of it is literally overblown. Like, literally overblown. So take a game like Unknown 9, Awakening. Okay? Everybody went hard on this game saying it was woke, DI, trash, and like this game's worst thing, honestly, was cringe dialogue. I don't care that the freaking actress, the protagonist is Indian. Like, why would anybody care about that? I don't care that there was, like a female. Like, I don't care that the main person was a female. Like, I don't care. Like, I cared about the story. I cared about the game. Like, the gameplay was actually fun. It was serviceable. I mean, it's definitely not winning any game. It's literally not winning any awards. Period. But it was still fun to play. I still enjoyed it. I still managed to beat the game, and I still had a good time doing that. Another game. Gosh dang it. Dragon Age the Veilguard. I know what you're saying. I can already hear it. This is woke trash, Frog. Everybody said it was woke trash. Look, there's the transgender stuff in there. And it's literally about 5 minutes of gameplay. It's literally about 5 minutes of gameplay if you go through the whole thing. Why do you think that's all you've seen when these guys go after that game as being woke, that's literally the only footage they have to show you aside from top scars that you're probably not even going to notice. Like I literally just built a new character on the PlayStation 5 version yesterday, and I still didn't even run into them. I got tattoos and everything, and I still didn't even run into those. Like I didn't even notice them. So yeah, obviously there's that, you know, but other than that, it seemed, I mean, the gameplay was fun. I was immersed in that game from start to finish. I was like, damn, this is actually pretty fun. This is exactly what I wanted. Just an action RPG that I could play through, that I could have fun, that I could, you know, care about the characters, that I could, you know, follow along with the story. Like, it was exactly what I needed Dragon Age the Veilguard to be. It was exactly what I needed it to be at that particular time in my life. I like playing video games. Normally, I'm only able to really sit and play through them on like a weekend or something. So being able to actually start a game, finish that game throughout the weekend, and like come away feeling like, yeah, that was awesome. I was engaged. I wanted to keep playing that. You know, or, you know, other games that I've played this year. You know, I beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That game started off really slow. It was getting to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to keep playing this. But then it just, boom, like the second half of the game was absolutely freaking incredible. You know, Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, my game of the year this year. That game, it literally won because of how intricate the story is and just how much the choices that you make in that game actually freaking matter to the whole freaking game. And once you complete it, like your first playthrough, once you complete it, I mean, there's different endings, but if you got the same ending I got after doing everything that I did, you'd be freaking blown away. Like, I think you'd be floored. I think you'd be like, oh my freaking gosh, dude, this game was absolutely incredible. There's so much depth in that game, and yet it felt like an action adventure game like God of War. Like, it has the same kind of gameplay as God of War. It just had so much more depth to the overall story and the outcome of that game that I was like, damn, that was good. That was very good. I'm surprised that came from Don't Nod, to be completely honest with you guys. That's why it won my game of the year, because it not only did it start off on the wrong foot with the whole wokeness. I was like, dude, this sucks, man. This is cringe. I don't like it. Then I forced myself to finish it. And as I continued to play and experience these ghost stories, this game grew on me so fast that I was like, damn, dude, maybe I should. That's the game that actually broke me out of the whole anti-woke and railing against it, because after beating that game, I was like, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to like really think about what it is I'm doing here on YouTube. What am I trying to do? And then I answered those questions to myself. I'm like, look, I'm a gamer. I want to have fun. I want to play games. Some of this stuff looks very interesting to me. And instead of listening to every other channel out there just being completely negative about it before these games even launch, and I've done this myself, guys. I've done this myself. I've been negative about games before they've launched, and then I've turned around and either liked them or hated them. Forspoken. I was so negative about that game, but then I played it. I sat down and I played it, and the gameplay is what drug me in, and then like playing through it and then like seeing the story, I was like, yeah, it was kind of cheesy, but dang, I love Frey now. Frey's awesome. I love that story. I love freaking when Frey becomes a Tanta and everything. It was awesome. Cool freaking lore. Cool lore, man. That's what it's all about to be a gamer. We can sit and piss and moan and be negative about every single thing that comes out, or we can enjoy the stuff and then we can be honest about it. Like, seriously, guys, I was honest about all my gameplay. Like, yeah, dude, I was pretty upset about Veilguard. I was when I saw Veilguard, I was like, dude, I'm playing that game no matter what. I'm playing that game. It looks exactly like what I want. And then boom, the leaks come out and everybody's showing off the top scars and they're showing off the freaking Tash character and they're talking about like the new age hooey fooey, freaking talking about like non-binary and stuff like that. My heart sank in my chest, and I'm being honest, my heart sank in my chest, and I was like, and I was sitting here dealing with these like fits of rage of like, oh, I was mad. I was like, but then I asked myself, like, dude, why are you mad? Like, why are you mad? Like, show me on the freaking PlayStation 5 Pro where this game touched you. And it made me think, I'm like, dude, are my beliefs as a man, as a human, really that damn fragile that I can't try something? Am I really that fragile that I'm gonna completely swear off a game because I don't like something that somebody ruined for me that I didn't even really experience throughout my whole gameplay? I didn't see the top scars in the thing. When it came to the whole Tash thing, literally the only way you're going to see that is if you go do her side story. But if you don't, then it will just like you're in a meeting and they'll interrupt you and be like, "Oh, she wants to be called they them," and then you're like, "Okay, whatever," and then it just moves along, and then like a little thing comes on the screen that says, Tosh Harding and somebody else went and dealt with her thing, and now she's okay. That's all it said to me. And I was like, okay, cool. That was not super intrusive, and it did not ruin my experience. Because when you see Tash, honestly, you're going to love her, you're going to hate her. Like, you're going to look at her and you're going to be like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. Or, oh, no, I don't really care. And most of us are probably going to look at her and be like, that sucks. Why would they make this character, you know? And then you're just going to move on, and then she's going to say some snarky things, you know, throughout the game or whatever, and then you're just going to ignore her, and you're never going to put her in you're never going to take her, and except for the one mission that you have to take her. You're pretty much just going to ignore her, just like I did. So it doesn't even matter. So I thought there, and I was like, okay, if you never put your values to the test, then you'll never know how strong they really are. Like, if they can't hold up to scrutiny, if they can't hold up to like, you know, being able to play something and then walking away and being like, okay, yeah, I still feel the exact same. Yep, they're still there. Still got my nuts. They're right there. And oh, look at that. Yep, I still feel like a man. I still dress like a man. I still work like a man. I still talk like a man. I still walk like a man. I still think like a man. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Don't be so damn fragile. And try to understand. And this is the way I come at it, because this is the way that I would want people to treat me. Like, you treat people the way you want to be treated. You do. I care about, you know, playing video games. I really do love video games. And I've been playing video games since I was 5. Since 1985, I have been playing video games. And I've played multiple franchises. I've went from... Man, I've seen so much in my life. I've played so many games. I worked in the gaming industry. I ran a video game store, you know, at Game Crazy. I've been in games ever since I was 5 years old, and this is a new era. This is a new era. We've had multiple different new eras. Like, most of the people that were making video games when I was growing up, they've been like the torch bearers almost that whole time. I mean, think about it. Like, when Doom came out back in the what, early 90s or whatever, like, you had Doom, you have all these games that came out back then, and like, Hideo Kojima was making freaking Metal Gear Solid back on NES, like regular Nintendo. Hideo Kojima has been making games my whole gaming life. And so when I look back and I see these guys, these torchbearers going, and then you start to see people retiring. Like, you see a lot of people retiring. I mean, like, think about it. Kojima's probably not going to be there for a long time. Todd Howard, like, all of these guys that have retired and they've moved on, like Cliff Bleszinski, the guy that built freaking Gears of War. These guys have moved on and passed the torch to the new generation of game developers. That's what is the reason why we're starting to experience this, like, major, like, whoa, things are shaking up. We've got the younger guys in charge of making games. And it's different, man. Like, most of the generation that build our games grew up reading books. They had vivid imaginations. They were able to imagine. Everybody making games nowadays, they literally were inspired by the people that made the games that were inspired by reading books. So you got to understand, it's like, yes, and obviously the way of the world now with social media, the way it is to just be able to contact people. Like, before, literally, you had to walk to your friend's house thinking about what you were going to say, or you had to, you had like a lot of uninterrupted time to think. But now you've got your phone right there, you've got social media, you've got text messages, you've got so much that you can just consistently always be in contact with anybody and everybody you want to be, that there is no time for self imagination anymore. Like, it's gone. Like, there's no time to just sit and like think anymore. Like, you have consistent, every day, all day long, 24 hours a day distractions right there in your pocket, and it's easy to just get influenced by anybody and everybody these days. Like, you're sitting there and you're thinking and you're like, oh man, and most of it happens, like, most people fall into this stuff is because, like, I'm not a gay man. I don't care about gay stuff at all. When people start throwing that up, like, oh man, this is in your game, I'm just like, dude, that's stupid. I don't care about that stuff. I don't want to see that. But then you play through the whole damn game of Dragon Age, and then you see it for like a couple seconds and you're like, like, that did not affect my experience whatsoever. But the person that matters to, even if it's just 1, 2, 5, or what was it, like 686 people that played Concord, those people were happy that it was in there. All 687 of them were happy that was in Dragon Age Velgard. And who am I? Who the hell am I to be like, no man, I'm not going to support that developer because they put something in there for you that I don't like. So I'm going to take my money and I'm not going to support it, and I'm going to watch this studio fail for trying to be inclusive and bring you into the fold and give you something to be happy about. You know how many games I have out there that make me absolutely freaking blown away happy because they resonated with me throughout my lifetime? Let's just say thousands, easily. How many games does the LGBTQ players that actually play video games have? I mean, probably nowhere near as many as I do. But yes, I'm glad that there is more inclusion. Now when you think about this, they made that one game, Concord, right? Concord, clearly marketed toward the modern audience, and that game did not do very well. It didn't do very well at all. And that just goes to show you that these developers can't build a game for that audience without having to piggyback some of it onto the games that we like to play, so that they can reach out and be there for those other gamers. Because dude, if the LGBT community is involved in making our games, I guarantee you that there are some that are actually involved in playing those games. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make me woke for understanding their logic and their reasoning and the way they're thinking? Because that's basically what it is. Like, I've sat and I've had so many ups and downs this last 4 years with games over the LGBT stuff being added and this and that and this and that, and I've played through so many games. I played through, what was it, Saints Row. I played through Assassin's Creed Valhalla, had gay stuff in there too. Odyssey, all of these games that I absolutely love, and there's no way that I wasn't going to play an Assassin's Creed game because there was gay stuff in it. There's no way I was going to not play it. And so when I see that in there, and then I do my little shrug or you know what I mean? I still play the game and I still spend tons of time in there, and that is such a brief moment in the overall scheme of that game, such a brief moment, that I know that somebody that was LGBTQ was sitting there playing that game and got to that same part I did, and it meant everything to them. It literally meant everything to them to feel represented. Like, I understand that. Like, I'm old enough and wise enough to understand that, like, yeah, video games mean so much to me as an individual player, that how can I be selfish and be like, no, you can't have that? Like, the older generation of gamers, they probably wouldn't have cared about putting that kind of stuff in there. But I mean, obviously things are still going to matter. Like this one game that Square Enix just gave me. They just gave me this, oh gosh, what is it? I don't know, but the male character looks like he's got like this headband and earrings, and he looks like he's dressed like a female, but he's got a male voice. yeah, just I'm not even gonna play it. Like I'm like, I don't want to play that. Like I don't want to play that. That to me just no, it doesn't. I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's like, so I'm not even covering it. Like I'm just not even covering that game just because it's like, look, man, this isn't for me. I looked at the front of it. I didn't do any research on it. They reached out to me and, hey, you want to cover this game? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take a look at it. And so they sent me the code and I downloaded it and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, you know, a woman, and then dude starts talking and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this one. You know, like, and it's just because it's like, no, like that kind of stuff is where I draw the line. It's like, no, dude, you're not going to demasculine the male character. And like, no, I'm not doing that. Like I'm not doing that. Like I can get it, you know, if there's an actual character that's like, you know, trans or gay or whatever like that, that's okay with me. I've come to the realization that, like, look, some stuff's gonna click and it's gonna be fine because there's gonna be everything that I love about it and it's gonna be right there and that's gonna be my focus and the way to play. And then I'm gonna run across the other stuff and I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, that made somebody's day, boom. But no, I'm not. Something like that. What game is that? Gosh dang it, I don't know. Yeah, it's not important. What's important though is the fact that, like, look, guys, I'm not ready to give up gaming. I'm not ready to give up gaming. I'm not ready to stop making YouTube content. This is where I stand with it, though. This is where I stand with it. I get that there's a new breed of developers out there building our games. I get that. And it seems like there's obviously there's a major clash with making games right now. The old people versus the new people, there's just a completely different way of doing things and working these days when it comes to this stuff. And, you know, obviously the younger generation is a softer generation. Like it is what it is. It's a softer generation. They think that, you know, being toxic and stuff like that, or being male is toxic or whatever, but they're going to find out really quickly that that's not the case. They're going to need those toxic guys to change their tires, to freaking build their houses, to do all the stuff that they're not going to be able to do. You're still going to need those toxic bros, so it's probably a good idea to not get rid of them. And for heaven's sakes, developers, if you've got somebody in your your studio that doesn't think like you, that thinks like us older gamers, like we want our toxic masculinity and stuff like that too, for freak's sake, use them, utilize that as a tool to build a badass game that suits everybody instead of like trying to force these people out. Don't be naive. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Use that. Utilize that. That is a tool. That is the best thing that you can have is collaboration between two completely different mindsets. Yes, bring it all. Bring it all. You say you want inclusion. Well, make sure it's included. All of it. Not just a little bit, all of it. Make sure it's all there. If you get top scars, I want freaking decapitations. It's a fair trade, man. Fair trade. So yeah, that's the way I see games going forward, guys. Like, look, man, I will suffer through as much of it as I possibly can. If it just continues to get worse and worse and worse and worse, then it is what it is. But for right now, I'm not ready to quit gaming. So until then, I'm going to cover the ones that look good to me. Like if I watch something like The Witcher 4, I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. I'm going to buy that. Or even Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, the gameplay and like the world design looks badass. The character, come on, girl boss, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? But I will definitely play that game to see that world. And I don't know, I'll make up my mind about the character when we get there. When we get there, I'm not going to bash it. I'm not going to trash it. None of that. Ghost of Yotei. Ugh. Okay, I'll do it. I'm going to play Shadows, AC Shadows. Okay, I'll do it. There's a female protagonist in that one. Okay, whatever. I'll play Yotei. Hopefully it turns out to be pretty good. Hopefully the protagonist is likable or something, you know. Hopefully, you know, we'll see. Hopefully it turns out good. I mean, like the ninja one, I can do that. That seems realistic to me. You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. What the hell? So, yeah, guys, I know that a lot of you guys I know that there's a lot of you out there that really do cling to that negativity. You do. I see your comments, I read them, and sometimes I take this stuff to heart, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just ignore it and just move past because it's like, whatever, dude. You're clearly just here to be obnoxious. But, you know, I get it, bro. I'm not ready to quit playing video games. So I'm going to keep playing as long as I can, and hopefully I get some more good stuff, because I was pretty surprised with the stuff that came out this year, and I'm actually surprised I liked a lot of it, to be completely honest with you. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.